Hi, welcome to your Carmichael Centre Governance Code e-learning resource. By now you are probably somewhat familiar with the Governance Code and you've read about this e-learning resource on our website. The purpose of this presentation is to give you a glimpse of what the resource looks like after you've logged in, show you how to move through it, and show you some of the instructive guidance, sample documents and templates that are available to you. When you first log in, you will see this screen. And you can add some more information about you and your organisation. But if you scroll down, you will see courses that you were registered for. And you should be able to see this link to your Governance Code e-learning resource. When you click on this link, it will take you to the next screen. And this gives you a short introduction to the Governance Code. You can also see this menu is available on the right-hand side of the screen. So you can read about the principles of the code and learn how to sign up to it. The first principle of the Governance Code is about leading our organisation. And if I click on Introduction to Principle 1, I can read more about that. If I click on the arrow here pointing at Sub-Principle 1, I can see a list of the areas I can get help with under this sub-principle. I'll click on Constitution. Now I can see what are the action points that need to be taken for either a type A, B or C organisation in order to give effect to this sub-principle of the code. And down here there are two links. One is a link to a Constitution template for CLGs provided by Carmichael Centre. And the other is a link to the CRA website, and they too have designed a similar template of their own. Let's have a look at what help is available under Policies. Having clicked on Policies, I can now see what are the action points that need to be taken for either a type A, B or C organisation in order to give effect to this sub-principle of the code. And I really want to draw your attention to this link at the bottom of the page. Governance Code Resources and Templates. If I click on this, it takes me to this page where I can see some of the guidance, sample and template documents that are available. There are more further down the page, but you can see here you have activity reports, board code of conduct, board self-evaluation, CEO report to the board, cash flow projection, communications plan, child protection, confidentiality policy. And we'll be adding many more documents to this resource as time goes on. It really is a great bank of documents to help with policy development within your organisation. Here you see I've moved on to Principle 2, and again I get an idea of the areas I can get help with. If I click on 2.2a, Monitoring Income and Expenditure, I can see what are the action points that need to be taken for either type A, B or C organisation in order to give effect to this sub-principle of the code. And underneath, I have access to these sample documents to help with implementing the code in the area of financial controls. Further down the same page, there is this fantastic interactive resource which can be used to gain a better understanding of the terminology used in the area of finance. So for example, you can see here I have clicked on depreciation, and it gives me a definition over here. Moving on to the area of risk management under sub-principle 2.3a, I can see what are the action points that need to be taken for either type A, B or C organisation in order to give effect to this sub-principle of the code. And if I scroll further down the page, I can see these 4 areas of risk. Each one with its own launch button. I click on Risk Categories. This starts an exercise on the 6 areas of risk categories, helping me to understand each one and what are the risks I might need to be aware of within each area. This risk management course, built into our e-learning resource, is a fantastic way to learn all that's needed in order to ensure that there is a comprehensive risk management system in place within your organisation. Here you can see I've moved on to Principle 4, and again I get an idea of the areas I can get help with. If I click on 4.1c, Board Role Rotation, I can see what are the action points that need to be taken for either a type A, B or C organisation in order to give effect to this sub-principle of the code. And further down the same page, there's a very comprehensive presentation on roles and responsibilities of board and committee members. This last link takes me back to the Governance Code Resources links page, and that's the end of this short presentation. For information, contact Training Services at Carmichael Centre or email tssinfo@carmichaelcentre.ie. Thank you.